Okay. For those, we have a few consultants on our team that are deaf, and I've been trying to figure out a better way to make sure that they feel included. So I've asked my friend Whitney, who she's local. She goes, I know her for a while, but she obviously can sign. And so I've asked her to come on and sign so that way our consultants who need that are still able to come on Zoom, or they can view the recording. So just so if you happen to see Whitney on here doing her thing, that's why. All right, so yes, I wanted to talk real quick to Lene's point about SFR. They had given us a heads up a few weeks ago, and I started immediately brainstorming. Obviously, we don't know where we're going to be at as far as how many people are allowed to gather together. But my hope is that by the time it'll either be in June or July. We're flexible with dates since it will be online. So once we find out, then we'll make a specific plan. But my hope is that maybe you all can gather in a certain place, or like rent an Airbnb for the weekend. I know for me, I've seen things online where it's like, join our virtual conference for 2 days. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit down for 2 days in my house with all of my family around. So we're going to look into, finding an inexpensive way. Obviously we won't, it'll be wherever you're at. So if all the Nebraska people wanted to get together, if all the North Carolina people wanted to get together, all of the Colorado, wherever you're at, and, even if it's just a few of you, find a place where you can enjoy SFR for the day or two that they're going to have it. And that way you can sit and really be in it and be able to pay attention. All right, so moving on. Obviously this month there's a join special, $20, but even outside of that, we should always be offering the opportunity. So I wanted to highlight, sharing Scentsy. I've had some discussions last night on our, we do a leadership call the night before this one. And so we kind of were talking about things like that. I had a call with Savannah today, and I hear it all the time about, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to, am I being too pushy? What verbiage do I use? So I wanted to kind of shed light on that. So when you're having a conversation with someone, be sure that it is authentic, right? So I know sometimes in the past we've been told, like, just start reaching out to people. Just say, hey, how's it going? I've been thinking about you, and I just think you should join. If you got a message from another consultant from another company and you haven't heard from them in years or weeks or months, does that make you feel good that they're thinking about you only for their join opportunity? No, not really. So if someone pops into your mind like, I should offer this opportunity, and you haven't talked to them for a while, be authentic in how you reach out to them. Rekindle that friendship before you immediately start asking them to join. Now, sometimes that does work, but if you're one who's like, I'm really nervous about just asking people right out of the gate, or I don't want to feel icky, I don't want to feel too salesy, then be authentic and build that relationship first. I walk into every single opportunity with, I want to help someone, but I want to grow my business. And so Whitney is our STEM lab lady at our school, so she's going to hear all my secrets. When I first started, my kids first started going to this school, I joined PTA for 2 reasons. I wanted to help, but I wanted people to get to know me so that way I could sell them Scentsy. 2 reasons. Main reason though was to go, if people find out I sell Scentsy, then that's just more customers. but I did it authentically. I didn't just run into that school and say, hey, everybody, I want you to buy all my stuff. Like, I didn't even talk about it. I'd friend them on Facebook and they would see my posts, but I was never pushy. I then put a warmer in the school. So I slowly, authentically worked it in. And now a lot of the teachers and staff want to purchase from me because, you know, I do fundraisers and stuff, but also because I'm not just shoving it in their face. So I've turned into a shares person. So if you've ever worried about, I don't want to be that tacky car salesman type, don't look at yourself as a salesperson, look at yourself as a shares person. We talk about that. I network a lot with our local chamber of commerce, and we're all salespeople basically. When you're in that environment, you want more people, no matter what your business is. You could be just a dentist, but you need more patients. So you're putting yourself out there and you're networking. And the thing about networking is you're building relationships. You know, for the example of the dentist, I'm not just going to trust one dentist that comes in and says, I'm the best dentist there is in Arlington. You should come see me, right? I'm going to build that relationship with him over the next couple weeks, couple months. And then when I go, man, I need to go get my teeth cleaned, you know, I really trust him and he seems authentic and he cares about me as a person and not just getting my business. I'm going to call him. I'm going to refer my friends to his office. So it's the same way with Scentsy. If you're, you know, helping others and you're genuinely trying to be, you know, helpful in their lives, they don't look at you as they only want me for my Scentsy purchase, right? It's the same thing when you go above and beyond and you add a little bit of a sample. Like maybe a customer ordered some Amazon Rain, some Luna, and aloe water and cucumber, and you throw an inhale, exhale sample in there. So it's along the same type of scent, and they go, oh wow, instead of just giving me a cinnamon vanilla scent, they thought about which scent I would like. So all of that kind of ties in together, being authentic, creating relationships, customer service. I want to talk on social media because that kind of all comes together. If you're only posting about Scentsy on your personal Facebook and people aren't commenting, there's a reason. It's kind of the same thing where if you only see them in person and all you ever talk about is your business and you're not talking about anything else, people kind of get turned off by it. They're just scrolling through and going, oh, there, who cares, Scentsy, whatever. She's always posting about that. But it really should only be 30% of what you post. So if you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many amazing specials this month, then you need to be posting about other stuff. Or just have a VIP page where you post everything. You can go on my personal Facebook page and you can look. I have stuff all about what my kids are doing during this weird time, all the crazy stuff that they've done. Sometimes just maybe a quick post about last night. So I'm not selling to people when I talk about how awesome we did. I'm just sharing part of my life. I'll talk about, you know, we went out and watched the satellites go across the sky. So I'm talking about more things than just Scentsy. And then every now and then it's like, oh my gosh, like, who needs a special for a senior, or who would want that? But it's peppered in. And you'll see that I have a lot of comments or likes on my non-Scentsy posts. So that way when I do post about Scentsy, the Facebook algorithm knows that, oh, people generally like what she's posting. So I'm going to keep what she's posting in front of people. So if all you're ever posting is Scentsy stuff and people aren't liking it, then the Facebook algorithm is not going to show you first when people get on their Facebook. You're going to be at the bottom. When after 2 hours they've been scrolling, they're going to be like, oh, I guess she did post about Scentsy today. So think about that. Make sure it's not just about your business. If you want a business only place, then you have a page or you have a VIP page, like a business page. And only share as long as you're allowed to share business stuff as long as you're posting personal stuff. And if you're like, I don't want to post a bunch of personal stuff because I'm not in that right frame of mind, totally been there, then don't post as much on your personal page. Like I post a ton more on my VIP page than I do than anything you'll ever see. Okay, so having the conversation. What do we say, right? Change it up. It's easy to really do the copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, send. You know, copy, paste, send, copy, paste, send. And do the same thing, but switch it up. I can go back, like maybe I have a friend that I've thought about, oh, you know, she's a good customer and she buys a lot. I think maybe she would be a really good Scentsy consultant. But I have the worst memory ever. So go back and look in their message. So I'll get out my phone and I'll type in her name and then I'll scroll and go, what was the last few things that we talked about? Oh yeah, her grandma was in the hospital. So instead of just going, hey, I've been thinking about you, want to join, it's, hey, how's your grandma doing? You know, or even if you're like, I'm afraid to ask right out of the gate if they'd like to join, then ask them to host a party. Tonight, I think it's tonight. I don't know, tonight or tomorrow. I'm going to post a link to one of my Facebook pages. You can go in there and see all the things that I've posted, how I did it. I have them run for 6 days and have the post scheduled. So if you're like, I just want to ease into it, I want to help her see that she could be successful at this, then have them host a party and then ask them to join. Which leads me into my next thing. Flip your hostesses. At least try. If you have a party, if someone hosts a party and you did not ask them if they wanted to join, then you're sorely missing out. Every party that someone hosts, you should ask them, hey, you can use your host rewards to get a free or reduced price kit. Obviously, depending on, you know, what their host rewards are. If they say no, then offer it to someone else. So if my host, I had a friend, Tara, she just hosted and I said, hey, you could get your kit for free. And she's like, nah, I'm good. So I asked her, I said, well, do you mind? Sorry, a dog walks by and they get really excited. I said, well, do you mind if I post and ask someone else if they would like it? And she's like, yeah, of course. So I posted on her party page that said, I have a host kit, a $59 host kit. This was in April. Now I'd just be like, who wants a $20 join kit? But it was, who wants this $59 join kit? 2 things to note. If it's not the hostess who wants to join, I wouldn't flip their party. I would just give them the kit so they can join. It's up to you. If you can choose how you want to do it. If you're like, yeah, I don't care, I want to get them off on the right foot, then totally flip it. And right now, normally online orders won't flip, but during this whole social distancing, since it's a lot harder to get orders and deliver them all out, Scentsy is allowing that. So if you need more information on, okay, I have a hostess flip now, what do I do? You know, let us know. But they're allowing it. But in every party you have, so say you collect $200 worth of orders and you have a hostess. So now you have the ability to give a hostess kit. So you can offer the $20 kit, the $59 kit, or the $99 kit. I've had, there's a consultant on our team, Rebecca. This extra kit came from where? The hostess kit. So anytime that you reach a party level, you have the ability to give the $59 hostess kit. I'll be posting all the details about what's in each after this Zoom. So that way you can share it and go, hey, there's actually 3 kit options this month. Which one do you want? But yeah, every party has the ability to offer that hostess kit. So if all these orders you just collected, you're like, hey, do you want to join for $59? And anyone can join. There's also reinstatements. Sometimes, like for example, I asked a really good customer of mine, she orders hundreds of dollars from me throughout the year. And I'm like, girl, you should just join. Like, put the orders in yourself. You always create a party. And she's like, nah, I'm good. And so I asked her, I said, do you know anyone who would be interested? So that's another avenue. If someone's like, no, I don't want to do it, don't just say, okay, cool. Just pretend I never said anything. Ask them, hey, well, do you know someone who would? And I asked that question. She goes, yeah, my sister. I think my sister would really like to do this. And I'm like, sweet, this is amazing. Turns out her sister had already been a consultant in the past. And so I let her know that her sister can rejoin for free. And there is an opportunity to get a reinstatement kit. So if it's been long enough where they're like, I don't have any testers, I don't have any catalogs, then they can get that kit. It's not required, but it is a great option. Okay, hold on. I'm very thirsty. All right, so once you get these people and they're like, yes, I want to join, obviously add them to your team pages, our group page. Remember not to forget about your new people. Sometimes that can be easy to do where they join and it's like, okay, great, there you go, have fun. And we forget to continue to follow up with them. You're going to have two types of people. The first type is going to go, yeah, I want to text with you. I want to learn all the things that I can. And then the second person is going to be like, I'm good. I got this. They're self-starters, or they're just like, I want to do this my way. Both consultants are wanted. They're both valuable. Even our hobbyists, where they just kind of put in orders here or there, those are still valuable. In order to have a successful team, you want all of the consultants. You want the hobbyists. You want the person who's like, I'm good. I got this. I'm going to do what I want when I want. And you're going to have the person who's like, I'm ready. And sometimes the person who's like, I'm good, or the hobbyist, they won't be this other person who's ready to go for a couple of years. We have quite a few of those people, even just on this call. So appreciate all of them and give as much love, help, whatever, into them as you can. So me and Savannah were talking about this today, and how I try and text my front line, at least once a month. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't, but I can go into somebody's my text messages and see that I've sent them 20 messages and they haven't responded. And that does not hurt my feelings. So, like I just said, there's 3 different types of people. And so if they don't respond, I'm okay with it. Me reaching out lets them know that when they do need something, I'm here for them. And if they don't ever need anything, that's fine too, but at least I'm reaching out. So don't sweat over the small stuff. Don't go, oh my gosh, I really want to help this person, and I've called her 10 times and I've texted her 20 and I've emailed her and I've Facebook messaged her, and she still doesn't respond back. Yes, Krista just said, that's me, I don't respond. She doesn't at all. And it does not hurt my feelings at all, because I know when Krista's ready to reach out, she'll reach out, and I'm okay with that. So be okay. It's not you, it's them. And that's just their personality. Yeah, exactly. They might be busy. How many times have you picked up your phone, read a message, gone, I'm about to respond, and then someone interrupts you, and then you forget. And then it's 10 days later and you're like, oh my gosh, I never responded to that text message. And then you don't, because you're embarrassed, or you're just like, well, it's too late, whatever. So a myriad of things could have happened as to why they didn't respond. But that doesn't matter as long as you're doing what you need to be doing. And focus on those who want to build the business. And there might be a time where a few years later, they're like, I'm ready. I had one of those texts this morning. It totally blew me out of the water. She's been with Scentsy, I don't know, 8 to 10 years. And she's like, I want to recruit and grow my business. And I'm like, well, okay, let's do it, you know? But she needed time to do whatever she was doing before. It wasn't her season. So just know that. But continue to check in with all of your people. Check in with your new person. Make sure that they know about the Shooting Star Kit if they want to take advantage of that. Sensational Start. I should know this statistic by heart, but I don't. But people who earn any level of Sensational Start are way more likely to become successful in their business or become a director, any leadership title, if they've achieved Sensational Start. So that's really important. Sometimes we forget about it, but it just gets them going on the right foot. I mean, how many times have you gone, I'm going to start this project, right? And you go to Hobby Lobby and you buy all the things to start it, and you come home and you're like, I'm going to do it. And then you get home and you get sidetracked, and then something happens, and then the next day and the next day. And then here we are with, 2 years later, and my knitting needles are still in the corner of my bedroom with all of the yarn that I bought, and I still haven't done it. But I'm not excited about it anymore. So the more you keep them excited from the very beginning and show them that they can be successful, the long-term effect it gives. Okay. Are there any questions so far? Feel free to unmute if you're like, I need more focus on this. All right. Then I just did such a great job. Okay. Well, good. If at any point there are questions, you can put it in the chat box, or you can unmute. I really just wanted to just give some ideas on recruiting. Don't be afraid to do it. I think sometimes we get in our heads and we're like, oh, I have to have the message just right, or I have to figure out what I'm doing first. I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I'm new myself. Don't overthink it. Just share it. And if you're like, I don't know if I want to text anyone, then just share it on your VIP page or your Facebook page and just go, hey, who wants to join Scentsy for 20 bucks? I've seen a myriad of posts today from different leaders. One leader is like, hey, here's the kit. Who wants to join? Not many comments. Another leader was like, who wants to join my business for 20 bucks? She had 20 comments that said, yes, I want to do it. So don't overthink it. There's not a right or a wrong way. And if you posted today and you didn't get, a lot of comments or a lot of interest, post about it in a week. Once a week, talk about it. Talk about how great your Scentsy is. If you're not her friend, I don't know, I'm sure she'd become your friend. But Maggie Hensley is a superstar director here in Texas. And she is the perfect example of how you integrate Scentsy into your personal life. So she is a mama of 3 bio boys, and then she just adopted 2 kiddos. They're 2 little brothers, and so now she has babies in her house, and so she talks about that amazing journey that they've been on. And so sometimes she'll post like a picture of her dumping oil like into the diffuser to be like, Jesus, take the wheel. I need this. So she's integrating. She's not just like, buy my diffuser. She's showing why she needs this and why that's important for her. Yesterday, she did a great post where she took all of her kids to Sonic and they got different colored slushies, and then came home and looked for a Scentsy bar with the same color as their tongue, and then created a rainbow kit, like a rainbow bar kit. And so it wasn't just, hey, I made a rainbow bar kit, buy it. It was pictures of her boy's purple tongue and blue tongue and red tongue. And then here's some Scentsy. So if you're like, I just want to post about all the time, I love it, then integrate those posts together. Or, you know, I don't know, take it, if you want to take a mask picture where you're wearing your mask, have your Scentsy in the background. You know, like I've set up my office now, since I'm permanently doing Zooms all the time, where I have product in the background. You know, so take selfies of yourself, you know, drinking your Dr. Pepper, but have Scentsy in the background. So you can put it in there without overdoing it. Okay. Yeah, and just the biggest thing is be a shares person. Don't worry about and overthink it. I could just say that over and over and over and over again. Just share what you love. If you really love it, then, you know, share it. Talk about, we have to be careful when it comes to income claims. So if you do any type of post where it talks about making money, things like that, like I just got my Scentsy paycheck and so I went and bought, you know, a bunch of flowers to make my house pretty, then make sure you include that. On my personal Facebook page, I just posted last night, and it has the link at the bottom. So if you're like, where do I get a link at? And go, and it's the same link for everybody. So you can go and borrow that link if you want. But really share, like, why do you love this company? Don't just post products, you know, talk about it. The more people see that it's something that is great in your life, then people will go, oh, well, if it's good for her and it's made a difference in her life, you know, I need to change. So maybe this is something that I'd want to do. All right, Lynetta, do you want to unmute and share?
Hey.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm packing to head to Chicago in the morning.
Oh, fun.
No, it's not. Where my aunt is. She had a heart attack yesterday morning on her way to work. And she is not good. She's brain dead.
Oh, man.
All of that. So it's like a matter of time. They're just kind of waiting until we get there, I guess, to kind of make the decision to pull the plug.
Yeah.
I lost my other aunt in January, her sister. So it's been pretty hard trying to deal with it. But what you said about overthinking, I used to do that. I used to really like not come out of my comfort zone on asking people if they want to buy anything. I work at Lowe's in Sykeston, so a lot of times I'll wear my Scentsy shirt, and I've got like several people at work like Scentsy, and like I'll tell them about it. And I had this one guy who, actually two guys that is wanting, one guy is going to talk to his mom about ordering. I actually just placed an order a couple weeks ago and got it in yesterday. And I had quite a bit of an order on that. I had 4 people, I think, ordered plus me. I got the Angel warmer. Love it.
Yeah.
But I used to be like that. And now it's like, I will tell people, you know, I'll go and I'm like I was at work one day and there was 2 girls standing there and I think I had my Scentsy shirt on or something. We was in the bathroom of all places. And I said, y'all need to buy Scentsy. And they're like, what? And I'm like, you just need to order some Scentsy from me. And they're like, was really curious about it, which we've been so busy that I haven't really got to hand out anything, which I don't have any business cards. I've got to get some made. Um, but I think they're gonna be interested in ordering. And I actually was at Lowe's at work on my day off a few weeks ago, and this girl that I work with, she's seen my shirt and she's like, Cincy. It's like, yeah. And she's like, I was like, I sell it. I was like, I'm back this month. And she's like, I just ordered some from a girl. She's like, and from Illinois, and I still haven't gotten it yet. And I was like, well, if you ever need anything, I was like, I'll send you my website. And right then and there, I got her phone number and sent the website to her. She hasn't ordered anything because she's still waiting on her other to come in, and stuff. But I mean, I was walking through Walmart about a week ago, and this guy just happened to look at me, and he's like, and I had my Cincy shirt on, and he's like, she must sell Cincy, and I was like, I do, and he's like, hey, and he hollered at his wife, and she used to sell it too, but she doesn't anymore. So I was like, yeah, I was like, I just come back this month and I'm fixing to place an order, and but she didn't need anything, I don't guess, because I didn't say anything. But I mean, I used to be like that, but now I talk about it all the time. I
Yeah.
literally talk about it because it's like, if you don't say nothing, you're not going to get your customers. I message when I got ready to place this order a couple weeks ago. I literally messaged a lot of people, and I'm like, hey, I'm putting in an order in a couple of days. Do you want anything? Some people's like, yeah, I do. And some people's like, no, not right now. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna be active for a few months, so if you need anything, just holler at me. Um, but I come out of my comfort zone a couple of years ago. Like
That's so good. Yeah.
it's like, if you don't say nothing, then you're not gonna get your business. I learned that the hard way. If you don't open your mouth and say, hey, have you heard of Cincy? Have you tried Cincy? I would love to introduce you to it. You're not gonna get nowhere. I
Yeah.
learned that because I didn't have a lot of customers at first. Then I finally started saying something and just getting on Messenger. That helped a lot because you just message your friends and say, "Hey, have you heard about Cincy? If not, let me introduce you to it. Or if you have, do you need anything? I'm placing an order." You don't want to try to step on anybody else's toes if they do have a consultant, and you don't know if they have another consultant until you ask.
Yeah. No, I love that.
I've got a consultant I buy from, and I'll be like, okay, that's fine. If anything ever happens, then I'm here for you. You can holler at me and everything. And I used to be really shy,
Yeah.
and it was hard, but I love it. I love Cincy. I've been with it going on 8 years, and I love it. Like I choose Cincy over Walmart stuff any day.
Well, I
And like,
hope so.
my son was selling Yankee candles, which I did buy a candle from them, but I thought about buying like because I wasn't active then. I thought about buying the little melts, but I was like, no, I was like, I'll just wait. I'll get, the um, ones from Cincy if I need any. And so I did. I actually got that brownie batter.
Yeah, that one's a good one.
Good. That one does smell good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
yeah.
Lynetta, thank you so much for sharing. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just figured, I heard you say something about that, and I was like, a lot of people are like that, especially when they're new to it and they don't feel like they can do it. You got to try.
Yeah.
You got to put yourself out there. And I learned that the hard way, honestly. You
Well,
got to put yourself out there.
I'm glad that that you've been able to learn that. I used to be really shy myself, and
Yeah, we talked about that before, and that's what
we
kind of got
have.
me to pushing, like, if she can do it, then I can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to hate getting outside of my comfort zone and would I mean, when I first started Sensi, I was still in the calling my mom stage of life. I was 20 and would say, "Hey mom, can you call and make me a doctor's appointment?" kind of still. And so seeing it's little by little, and going back to the be a shares person, if you're just sharing Scentsy, I used to go, oh my gosh, like I'm afraid to ask someone because I don't want to be pushy.
That's
But
the way I was, and that's why
yeah.
I still sometimes I still feel like that. I'm kind of like, and I just kind of let my shirts, I guess, just open up the
Yeah.
conversation or whatever. Matter of fact, I'm wearing my Cincy shirt on the way there to Chicago tomorrow. And then I even went and bought because they had that $10 off or something or another through the Vista Print. I ordered some decals for the car,
Oh, good, good.
and I got one on my mom's and one on my dad's car. I threw one
Nice.
on both of their cars because I went down there one night to my dad's. I live 2 doors down, and I was like, "Hey, I'm putting this on your car." He's like, "No, you're not." And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And he's like, "Okay, put it down here." So I haven't got any phone calls or anything. I just put the one on my mom's today. So hopefully, like while we're gone and like we're parked somewhere or something, somebody will see it and like get on my website and order. And then matter of fact, my old neighbor, she ordered from me. She has cats, and she ordered home is where the cat is,
Oh, yeah.
and warmer. And I just took it to her yesterday, and her housekeeper come over today, and I missed the phone call, and I called her. I accidentally called her back, didn't mean to at the moment. And she's like, I was like, "Hey, let me call you back." And she's like, "No, no, no, no." She's like, "My housekeeper is wanting to order some Scentsy stuff." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "All right." I was like, "It'll be next week before I can place an order." I said, "Or she can go on the website and place an order." So I told her my website, and I haven't checked to see if I have any orders yet, but I gave her my website, and hopefully she'll go and order. And
Yeah.
I mean,
I love,
that's seeing that kind of stuff. I mean, people seeing it, they get curious, and then they, ask about it,
yeah.
and you can go.
Well,
And
again, thanks for sharing. We're
you're
short
welcome.
on time, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
I gotta finish getting everything ready because we're
yeah,
leaving
I
at 7
bet.
o'clock in the morning.
That is a big trip.
Yeah, it's a 6 hour trip from here, 5 to 6 hours.
Okay.
So
We'll drive safe.
I will. I'll see y'all later.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Lynetta.
Bye.
Um, oh, one more thing that I think she kind of touched on too was you know, sharing. I know I've said that a million times, like be a shares person, but just brand yourself, you know, always have something Scentsy related. I know sometimes I'm like the last thing I want to do is wear Scentsy branded stuff. But I have recently become a hat wearer. So some of you know that I've had some really awesome large skin cancer removed from my forehead up here and several other spots frozen. And so here in Texas, the sun is ablazing all the time. And I was like, it's important to have sunscreen on my face, but even a better step is to wear a hat. So any Scentsy style hat that they have put out, I've purchased. So maybe I'm not wearing a shirt all the time, or um, I need to put vinyl back on my van actually, but I'll have a hat, or I'm always giving out Scentsy as a gift. And you do all these things, going back to what I said before, because you're building relationships and you're being authentic with sharing your business. And doing that, people aren't just joining Scentsy to get a business, they're joining it because they might want some friendships, or they might want, some community that they're missing. And if you show them that you're more than just the Scentsy consultant, that you're like, hey, I want to build a relationship with you in any type of way, that makes people feel included and will lead to more people joining your team. The last thing I want to touch on was, what do I say? So we talked about like joining, and that's great, but what do I tell people? What do I ask them? Don't overthink it. If you're like, man, it's been on my heart, you've been on my mind, however, you phrase it or feel it, reach out to someone and go, hey, like, I just wanted to see if you wanted to join my team, if there's a $20 kit this month. Or say it's not May anymore, or we run out of kits. Hey, I've got like this $59 join kit, and if somebody doesn't use it, I lose it. Would you want to take advantage of it? You can have a bunch of emojis, but if you're not an emoji using person, then don't use a bunch of emojis. You can go in depth with it. You can say, hey, I think you'd be really awesome at this. Your leadership styles or the way you share stuff on social media, make it personal and make it simple. So just don't overthink it. And if you're like, man, I need some help with more ideas, post on our group page and go, this is what I'm thinking of sharing. Like, what should I change it to? And if maybe the first few people you text are like, no, I'm not interested, then each time you send a message, rephrase it a little bit differently. Like, for example, I started out asking my hostesses, hey, so I always ask my hostess if they want to, like, take advantage of this hostess kit, let me know if you want it. Well, that didn't sound personal or exciting at all. And so every time I would ask a hostess, I would erase a few things, change it around, and then send it. And then the next person, I'm like, I'd reread it. It's like a few days later or a couple weeks later, and you go to reread it, you're like, oh, what was I thinking? And just keep tweaking it. That is business. Business is all about changing and growing and pivoting and figuring out what works best. So don't be afraid to change it up a little bit. Okay, so we've got 5 minutes left. If there are any questions, feel free to unmute or come on. I did want to say one last thing. As leaders, we recognize that some people want, the 3 types of consultants. Some people want a little bit more. So I'll be posting tonight. It's a Google form if you'd like to fill it out and have more one-on-one coaching with your upline. So you can fill it out there. That information, it will all be compiled and sent to your leader. So if your leader's Savannah, it'll go to Savannah. If it's Lene, it'll go to Lene. And there's different options. So fill it out as much as you can. Like, it'll ask you, what are your goals? What do you want out of Scentsy in the next 6 months? And then it will ask you also your preferred ways of communication. So do you like text? Do you like phone call, email, Zoom, or Marco Polo? I think those are the 5 options on there. And click all that applies. So if you're like, yeah, I like all of them, click, 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 then go for it. If you're like, I don't do phone calls, but I'll text or Marco Polo, then click those. And once you fill it out, that information will be sent to your leader, and then they'll reach out to you and figure out the best thing that'll work for you guys. And we're just doing it in a one central location, so that way it's not fill out this if you're only Lene, or fill out this only Savannah. It's just all in one place, and so it'll have a place where it's who's your director. So all right, I feel like there was something else. Oh, the Slay in May. I did want to touch on that. That's like a 1-minute thing. The Slay in May is something, it's similar to Active in April, but for May, and it will cover topics of buy, host, join. So starting Monday, there will be posts every day, just like there were in April, to give you ideas on, different party types, recruiting conversations, different customer specials, things like that. So it'll cover the whole thing. So, and there will be a slightly more focus on joining, and there'll be more examples of like happy mail, samples, even self-care. That was one of the things that we were talking about when we were creating this group. Slay in May was, what should we do for Sundays? So Sundays will be self-care Sundays, and it'll just be ideas. I think it's easy to get caught up in our business and feel like, I know I get this way where it's like, I have to go. I have to be working. I mean, I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning this morning, like working my business. But then at 10 a.m., I'm up and I'm having a phone call and I'm doing coaching calls and I'm sending out text messages. And then I'm like, I'm not allowed to take a nap because I have so many things that I need to get done. So it's important to remember that you still need to do self-care and take care of yourself so you don't burn out. So we'll cover those topics as well. But if there are no questions, then we'll go ahead and end.
I have a random question.
Yeah.
I am getting ready to do some virtual fragrance flowers parties. And I was wondering what, because I was just going to post basically like a calendar for people with available dates. And I was wondering what calendar apps or what y'all use, what the best ones that work for you are, if anyone has, where they sign up through a link.
So you can do either a Google form or you can use, it's called Calendly. It's
Okay.
Calendly.
Okay.
And you'll go in and put your available dates, and then
Mhm.
they'll just go in and say, I want that one, and it'll put their name, and then you can view that.
Okay.
You can even put different times. So if you wanted to break it up by time, you could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any others?
So, Shelly,
Mary. Yeah.
this is Mary. The Slay in May thing, is this on Facebook?
Yes, it will be in our Facebook group page.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you're, and it will also be organized out into the units, just like Active in April was. So if you're not on there every day and you don't want to scroll, just click on the units. If you're on your phone and you're on Facebook, you know, up at the top of a group page, it'll say like photos, members. It'll also say units. If you're
Okay.
on the computer, it's on the left-hand side.
Okay.
So you'll just click on unit and you'll see it'll be organized by host join.
Okay.
Yeah. Any others? Those are good questions. Okay. Sweet. Well, I'm glad that y'all got on. Mark your calendars. Every first day of the month, we will have a Zoom for our group. So if you're like, oh, I couldn't, you know, just put it as a reoccurring thing in your calendar so that way you know. And we did it that way instead of always doing it the first Monday, or yeah, always on a Monday or always on a Tuesday. It's just the first day of each month. So that way, I know some people, Mondays will always be bad. So that way it just kind of rotates. And so people who can get on, it'll just kind of rotate through schedules. And right now everything's canceled. So hopefully we'll resume life as normal soonish. So keep rocking. April was amazing. I have no doubt that May, we were just gearing up. We're just gearing up in April. So keep rocking it. So proud of all of you. I'm looking at all of your faces and I'm excited to see how May goes. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to reach out to your upline, post on our group page, reach out to me, all of the above, and we're here for you. I'm proud of you. So we will see you guys later. And thanks again, Whitney.